Frigcast on this Sunday evening. With me tonight, we have two co-hosts, a regular, and somebody who's come back from the proverbial dead. We've got Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Hey everybody, good to see you.
And he's back, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Varney.
Renombre Patria Espíritu Santo.
Josh, what's going on,
What?
man? Where you been?
Well, you know, I thought I've been away for a while, and you know, a bit like the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I thought might as well make some kind of fucking appearance, because you know, what else am I going to do on a Sunday when it's 100 fucking humidity outside in South Pissing Wales?
This podcast is not for young children.
It's not for the light-hearted,
especially when Josh is around.
No, I'm of the age of 40 years old now, where it's just I really don't care any longer, but it's fun.
Oh,
That's the tone set.
Yes. Well, it's been a while. I've been off on holiday for a couple of weeks, so I've
Been a while.
So yeah, it's good to be back. Apologies for the mess behind me and stuff, but it's still sort of literally holiday stuff where I went, I need that, I don't need that, I need this, and I threw everything
For the
everywhere.
mess behind you. You haven't seen the clusterfuck I've got behind me when I've been redecorating this bloody room. If you see that, you know that character in Labyrinth that's got everything on her back? That's what this room fucking looks like right now. Like Jim Henson walked in.
Josh is currently going for the record of how many times he can say fuck within the first 5 minutes of a podcast.
He's trying to beat Martin Scorsese.
I want to beat From Dusk Till Dawn. I really do.
What was I going to say? It's completely gone. Is everybody okay? Are both of you fine? What have you been up to in my absence?
Oh, go on, Josh. I think you should go first.
Well, we've not been jet-setting around the fucking world in Thailand, have we? No. It's not been The Hangover Part 2 in this fucking part of the world. No. It's been fucking terrible, Matt. It's like the arsehole of Satan outside, but if it was Tom Ellis, I'd probably say, can I have another?
Well, that's it, man. When I was over in Thailand, it was like the weather was actually cooler than it was over here at one point in time. And I was trying to tell people, yeah, it's cold in the UK. And they're like, but it says it's 40 degrees here in London. And I'm like, yeah, it's never that hot. It's just obviously something that's happened because Matt's left the country. They've decided to just sort of bump up the heat and stuff. So yeah, as soon as I got home, it started raining again. So I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's like a Peter Kay sketch outside. It's like, oh, I like it warm. I don't like it this warm. It's like, fuck, I stayed inside. It's easier.
Yeah, man, I was trying to think about it. I was sitting there, I was just like, you know, imagine living in a country where it's like hot all the time, because they have two seasons: rainy season where it's hot and wet, and then summer when it's just hot. And I'm just like, as much as I like the sun and I don't like it when it rains, at least if it's cold, you can kind of do something about it, as in you can just sort of kind of heating, and if you're outside, you can put on jackets and stuff. If it's warm, there's not a lot other than air conditioning in a car or whatever. It's just warm, and it's just like, you know, it can be quite unbearable. Yeah. So,
all right, Matt. Just because you're an attractive fucking guy who's thinner than most of us, let me tell you, give us some education right now, what it's like for a chonk. If it's this kind of fucking weather for a guy that literally wears hockey jerseys and jorts and trainers, this weather is fucking terrible, because you can't wear much that's not going to show you're a fat ass in most fucking weather. So me now, thankfully, I've lost quite a considerable amount of fucking weight. But still,
how much have you lost?
I have
I've seen you
9 stone.
Oh, that's really good one. That's really good.
9 stone in through the pandemic, and I've got like 3 more stone to go until I'm what the Americans call a healthy weight to fly. Fuck you and everything you stand for. But yes, for a healthy weight where I'm not paying an extra $400 for a seat, because apparently my ass is yay big. I've got 3 more stone to go through, plus my health and, you know, kids growing up and all that shit. But for a guy who wears 5XL jerseys, because I was 5XL at the time, my wardrobe hasn't got any T-shirts. I had to buy this. So yes, you don't understand. The energy of Bernie Mac is flowing through me by saying, you don't understand.
I'm super impressed, man. That's really good. What was the key? What did you do? What helped you sort of drop the weight?
If this podcast wants to go that direction, okay. My mental health wasn't really good when I was overweight, and I got to a point where I was incredibly suicidal. And then me and Jon Jo went to Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and I spoke to Kevin Smith. And for that fleeting 5-10 minute chat I had with him about his journey with intermittent fasting, I went to Disneyland Paris with my family and my mum. And when I came home and the pandemic hit, I thought, now is probably the perfect time to start. So I started 16 hours fasting with that window of eating where I had one meal a day. I went total Japanese diet. And then I moved up to a permanent, which I'm still doing now, 20 hours fasting, and then a 4-hour eating window where I have one meal a day. And then that is it. And through the pandemic, I lost 9 stone. And I've continued to lose 3 pounds a week.
That's really good, man.
That's good.
I have to say, I have not lost as much as, and I've gained weight. When I was in Thailand, I gained 2 kilograms in Thailand because they eat.
Shit!
They eat.
We saw the pictures, you fat fuck.
they eat like 4 or 5 times a day, man, and it's not small meals. It's like big heavy meals all the time, and even I couldn't deal with it. I was like, I can't deal with it because generally what I do, I was
seeing.
Sorry, say it again.
No, I was just going to say, what I was seeing from your photos, you weren't getting bowls of food, you're getting fucking wheelbarrows worth. I couldn't believe
seriously?
it.
Yeah, it was just mad.
Troughs.
There was just like,
there were troughs.
It's because obviously food's super cheap over there. Everything's super cheap over there, but it's just super cheap. But it's just like it's just constant, just eat all the time. And I was just like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. But bear in mind, I got myself to about 95 kilograms. I was happy enough with that and stuff. And I'd sort of put on I think a kilogram and a half. It was like 96, 97 or something. I was like, oh, it's a bit, it's sort of need to drop that and stuff. Went to Thailand, gained another 2. But I'd got myself to a point where I was eating one meal a day, like you were saying. So basically, I'd have nothing for breakfast. I've never been a big breakfast person anyway. The only time I'd ever eat breakfast is if I was super tired and getting up early to go to work or something, having to go into Manchester to work and stuff. But don't eat breakfast. At lunch, I just have like a protein smoothie and then maybe do some weights or something. And then I'd have a big-ish meal in the evening, and that was it. And that worked quite well with losing weight. So I can see that, you're probably a bit more regimented than I am, and you're obviously probably thinking more about what you're eating. But I think that the intermittent fasting thing does actually work. And
it works.
It does make you feel as depressed about things and stuff, because I don't feel like in my big meal that I'm having to watch. I try not to have loads of crap. I'll give myself a weekend. I'll maybe have, pizza or something at the weekend and stuff like that. But
I have a cheat day. I have a Friday is usually my cheat day, because obviously when the kids finish school, we go into town and we get boba and, we have a takeaway. But with my main meal, like I said, I went full Japanese type diet. So my diet consists of char siu pork, mainly ramen, soup broths and noodles, but it's 90% veg on top. So it's bok choy, it's mushrooms, it's chives, it's scalloped onions, it's all that stuff on top. But the one thing I committed to was cutting 90% of sugar out of my diet. Completely 90% of sugar. So I have one Oreo a day. That is it. One Oreo. And I had one vice,
Coke.
which is that.
Yeah.
Coke Zero. This is my only vice that I have through the day, but I cheat because I have my tankard here, but it's filled completely to the brim with ice.
Oh, okay, so you're not drinking as much.
No.
Yep.
But it waters down the Coke as well.
Yeah. So I like I am really bad with sweet stuff. Like that's my bit. I like really, really my whole family, like all the men in my family, have been a massive thing for sweets and stuff. Like always have been and stuff. And if there's sweets in my house, like they're gone. It's so hard to sort of not eat them. So when I'm in that place, I just refuse to have anything that I can snack on in my house. And then my inability to be arsed to go to the shop stops me from eating any crap because I'm like, I can't be arsed going to the shop. So I just don't bother and stuff. So I might have a bowl of Special K or something like that, or an apple or something like that, and then that keeps me going, basically.
I refuse to catch any kind of public transport if it's an easier walk anywhere, which my kids have become adapt to now because I walk everywhere anyway. So it's been one of those things where regular walks have kind of been the exercise of the day.
I think it all adds
because obviously being in Swansea, it's a coastal town, so I can leave my house, walk across the street, and I'm on the promenades of the coast of Swansea beaches. So we could literally walk from my house down to the Mumbles within an hour, and it's just there's the exercise for the day. That's it. That's done. My son fucking hates it. My daughter loves it because she's very birds, animals, wildlife. She goes nuts for. My son, if I can tear him away from the four-poster fucking TV and his games and his access to fucking technology, I've done something good for the day if I can tear him away from it. But other than that, he's stuck to it.
Anyway, so it's been a very, very busy weekend for nerds out there. San Diego Comic-Con 2022 has been a thing. Has dropped pretty much 90% Marvel stuff, but some other interesting things have come out as well. So Jon Jo has a list. He's come prepared. We have a list of things to talk about
across 2 pages as well.
Wait a minute. The Geek Pride podcast is now prepared for a podcast. Matt, what the fuck's going on? I've been away for too long.
No, yeah. It's all about ad-libbing. We just sort of kind of...
I wrote this about 10 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, to be honest, I was, because I've got like a screen share thing. I was going to sort of kind of put up some of the videos and things, but me and my brother were playing Baldur's Gate, so I didn't have time. That's my excuse. Okay, so Jon Jo, where are we starting off?
Okay. So what's been interesting is that we now know that the upcoming Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is going to be the end of Phase 4. So we've basically done a whole phase of Marvel in less than 2 years, which is very weird. But Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has had its first trailer, which looks really, really good. There is a hell of a lot of questions about what's going on, but we now know that we have Namor the Submariner, who looks fucking awesome in this film. We've got our first look at how they're doing all these underwater scenes. There's some great epic battles on the way. Still don't know how they're addressing Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, if they're just going to say he died sometime before the film, or some people are thinking that his death might actually be caused by the Atlanteans, or however they're going to address Namor and these people in this film. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. But guys, come on, you must have seen that trailer. What did you think of it?
The Wakanda Forever one with the what was the song that they had going? No Woman, No Cry. No Woman, No Cry. Yeah. Just one thing, actually, when you're talking about before we sort of go on to the trailer, Phase 4, right? So I've got it up. I wonder if I can actually share it. I can't share it with you, chat. But put it on.
Yeah. Well,
The Phase 4. So
effectively, Phase 4 began. Go
on. People should be able to see that if they're watching it. If you're not, obviously, if you're listening to it, this will see nothing. But we'll try and explain it. So phase, basically, it's a thing, and I'm think this is from 2021. So the Phase 4 was meant to be Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternal, Spider-Man. We've got all these ones. Doctor Strange, Multiverse Madness. Obviously, Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out. Black Panther 3, which is going to be the end of 4. Quantumania. So is Blade being moved on to onto Phase 5? Is Blade Phase 5? Because I know Fantastic Four is Phase 5.
Yeah.
There's a reason for Blade being in Phase 5.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ironheart as well. I Am Groot, which seems to have sort of hasn't been mentioned. She-Hulk's been mentioned.
I Am Groot's got a trailer.
Does it?
I shared it.
Yeah, it came out Friday.
No, I didn't see that. God damn it!
Shame.
I know.
Shame.
I'd see what, man, because I sat and I watched every single. This morning, I woke up and went, you know what? I've missed a load of this stuff. So I went through everything. And I thought I saw it all. Obviously, I didn't.
I shared it to the podcast group. How dare you?
Okay. Then you got Guardians of the Galaxy. The new Guardians of the Galaxy, is that Phase 5 as well? Check.
Yeah.
Let's go on to
basically everything from Ant-Man and the Wasp's Quantumania, which is coming out on the 17th of February. Everything from that up into the Thunderbolts on the 26th of July 2024. That is Phase 4. So Phase 5. So that is literally Phase 5 in a year and a half.
Oh, yeah, so Phase 5, we've got Quantumania, Secret Invasion, the Guardians, Echo, Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, Daredevil. Oh, I'm looking forward to the new Daredevil, man. Agatha, Captain America. That's going to be interesting. And then Thunderbolts.
90% of that, though, I think, is TV series.
Yeah, I think so.
They're sort of like half and half at the moment, but then the animated slate as well is looking really good. If you guys,
the X-Men.
Yes, Joe, I've got it all here. The animated slate. If you want me to go through it quickly.
No, we'll go back to sort of Wakanda because
the films.
Yeah, we didn't. We
okay.
started kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
I moved
Sorry,
us on.
I've had to turn the camera off because I'm getting so much delay on my side.
He's having a wank, in other words.
See, this is why it's not for children. No, I meant because of Josh, not because. Anyway, so yeah, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So it's the end of Phase 4. This is finally giving us a chance to see what they can do with the Black Panther IP without Chadwick Boseman. And the biggest talking point is who is wearing the Black Panther outfit at the end of the trailer. I honestly think it's Okoye. That is my guess.
She played it in the comics, didn't she?
Yeah.
So
but you also see a start to Ironheart in the trailer as well.
Oh yes, yes we do. So that is go on.
As the trailer went, it was quite evocative. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how they sort of deal with his death. And my brain was completely just on the fritz this morning. And I was just like, they were talking about they're going about fighting Atlanteans. I was like, oh my god, I wonder if they're going to bring in Aquaman. And I went, completely different thing, Matt. And I was just like, why would they do that? And I was just like, they should totally do that.
Wow.
But then I was just like, yeah, they're completely different things, Matt. And I was just like, yeah, that's okay. I suppose they can both have Atlanteans, I guess. I guess. But
Well,
yeah.
technically, Namor came before Aquaman. Namor was actually one of the very first Marvel heroes back in the late 30s, early 40s.
All right, okay. There's something new every day.
But yeah. So I'm looking forward to the film. I think it's going to be good. I think that trailer has really built up my hype for it, because I think before we saw anything on this film, I was almost thinking, what's the point of doing it? Like, in the nicest sense, not being horrible, what was the point of doing another Black Panther movie without having, T'Challa? But I honestly think that they're going to keep very respectful to the storylines. They're going to give a lot of respect to Chadwick himself. And I'm looking forward to what hopefully will be possibly the best Marvel film of this year.
You reckon?
I'm confident, just because I've wanted to see Namor in a Marvel movie for so long, and the fact that they're really going to push him as the anti-hero in this movie as well. They're really going to make him a proper antagonist. It's filling me with a lot of hope.
This I'm gonna have to, because my knowledge of him character. Let me Wikipedia him quickly here. He's Atlantean. He's Atlantean.
Yep.
Dark X-Men. Team affiliations. Oh, he was a member of the Avengers, apparently. The Cabal, the Dark Avengers, Defend. Oh, he's in the Defenders. Deep Six, Fantastic.
And the Illuminati.
The Fantastic Four, Heroes of Hire, Illuminati, Invaders, The Order, Phoenix 5, X-Men. Interesting.
If I remember correctly, he was kicked out of the Avengers.
He was.
He's because he's an asshole. He's a huge asshole.
Yeah, he's stubborn. He's one of these people that he doesn't like to. I guess he's kind of like Iron Man without the technology. He likes to think he's always right. He likes to think he can do everything by himself. That he's got the power over everyone. And then
Namor is incredibly arrogant. He's like the child who was never told no while he was growing up, and he's continued that arrogance because he's the ruler of Atlantis, because he's the born ruler of Atlantis, and he's carried on that ego. But in love with Susan Storm, which is quite interesting.
But Joe, we've only got just over 3 months until this movie's out, so we're gonna. So 11th of November, 2022. So keep that date in your calendars. The last Marvel film for this year, but not the last Marvel project, because we have got the I Am Groot series on the 10th of August, as well as She-Hulk on the 17th of August. Which I'm loving She-Hulk. I think that they've done some good work with the CGI. They've definitely touched up a lot of the areas which was a little bit concerning. And I am liking the comedy angle as well. Also as well, we've got pretty much confirmed, if we already had the Wong cinematic universe, we're about to have the Daredevil cinematic universe as well.
Yeah. Because he kind of appears at the end of the trailer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In his red and yellow suit, which I was very happy to see.
Yeah. I thought it was great when he turned up in Spider-Man. Like, I was just like, yes, because I thought like Daredevil, as a TV series, was just absolutely superb. Loved it so much. It was so good.
We are going to talk about Daredevil a bit later as well.
Yeah. Do you reckon they'll? What's his name? Who's the guy who plays Punisher in the series?
John Bernthal.
Yeah. Do you reckon he'll come back as Punisher?
I think so. They have to. He's perfectly cast.
They have to, because of a certain film they've got coming out that involves certain dark heroes in the Marvel timeline.
Which would be
we're going to get to.
Midnight Suns.
Yes, which could possibly be a Phase 7 movie, because they're already putting that, even though they haven't put any dates of the films out yet, they're already talking about release dates for Phase 7.
Well, don't forget, in Phase 6, you've got 8 unreleased titles yet. So Phase 6 could be an interesting one.
I've got the gaps actually. So when we go through some of these other films, I can tell you the other ones that are supposedly in development and their potential dates. But shall we talk about Phase 5, because we got some very good information.
Just before we go on to that, just a quick question for you both, because I've had a few sort of WhatsApp groups, sort of kind of different types of WhatsApp groups I'm in, people moaning about Marvel just sort of over egging things now. It's just like they're not really interested in it because, you know, the original cast aren't there. How do you feel about that? Do you think that they're sort of, they can still make a big success of this, bearing in mind all the big names are not there anymore?
If you follow comic book law on anything, right, no one team stays the same all the time. All teams change, new recruits come in, old ones leave. It's happened so many times through the years in the comic books. All Marvel are doing is just following that suit.
Yeah, and I personally don't think it's a problem. It's just getting to the point that, you know, Marvel's just it's just a thing. It's just a part of your life these days. It's just something that, you know, you expect them to have something out. I think DC have completely given up with the whole sort of kind of. I think they've given up on trying to sort of make an extended universe. I think they're just sort of going.
DC, if you look at their showings from San Diego Comic-Con, they basically had
Shazam,
Black Adam, and Shazam 2. That was basically their highlights, because at the moment they're not ready to show anything on the new Aquaman movie. They're basically trying to almost bury the Flash movie because Ezra Miller can't help but keep punching people. So God knows what the fuck's happening there.
He's got to get replaced. There's no way they can keep him on. And it just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand why they would do it. You know, I didn't mind him as the Flash, to be honest, but he's an absolute dickhead in real life. So it's just, you know.
But could you imagine being part of these, part of the Warner Brothers, like team of lawyers, and like every day they go, right, so Dave, Ezra's got in a bit of trouble again, so you've got to go around there and diffuse that situation again. Yeah, well, what's he done this time? Well, you know, he said he wanted to go back to Hawaii. Yeah, he punched another person. Oh, fuck's sake. It's just like a never-ending saga. It's always, every couple of weeks, there always seems to be a new story about him. And it just gets weirder and weirder. And it's like WB are just doing whatever they can to try and bury these stories. So they go, right, we've already spent $250 million on this fucking movie. We can't change it now. That's what it feels like.
I'm surprised that the sort of, like, Shazam was good, and it's sort of as close to a Marvel film as you're going to get with the comedy sort of side to it and a bit more slapstick. And I'm guessing Black Adam's maybe going to be maybe slightly darker, but on a similar vein as that. Well, it sort of surprised me because I watched the new Batman film, the one. The Batman, and I thought that was superb. And with like films like The Joker, I think them going back to the whole darker side thing, you know, really being a bit more gritty and stuff, works well for DC.
Yeah, I think this is what happened with DC. They were trying too much to do on Marvel. They were trying too much to replicate what worked for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Whereas instead, they've gone, right, let's let people actually put together a vision of what they think these characters should be like. So, you know, and Joe, I've got to be honest, Robert Pattinson's version of Batman, I think is bloody awesome. And that film, really I've watched it 3 times now, and I absolutely love it because it's very nice. It's very like, it builds up really well. There's a great bit of action into it. It's very personal, very dark, and just I think just some of the best cinematography you're going to find in a superhero movie for a long, long time.
The thing with the Batman film is that it kind of brings it back to what the Batman comic books were, and you know, this is not a superhero. This is a detective series. This is all, you know. He was first in Detective Comics. He was he never called himself a superhero. It was, the same with Ra's al Ghul used to call him. Never used to call him Batman, always used to call him the detective. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a detective's comic series. So for them to ground it in the fact is this is a rich kid who wants to hide his identity in a persona, but then that persona becomes who he is, and Bruce Wayne is the mask. So them setting this up straight off the bat as this is purely a detective film, this is a crime film with essence of the hero complex in it, then that sets the ground running perfectly. It's not going to be LED lights and luminescence and guys wearing face paints that glow in the dark shit and that monstrosity from Joel Schumacher. This was dark, gritty, and it set the tone perfectly for a great starting point to rebooting the Batman franchise. And from what anybody says about Robert Pattinson's portrayal as Bruce Wayne, he just looks like an emo kid. You're thinking, this is one Batman. He's meant to look like that.
Yeah, this is the Batman. I think that we really, if we'd had this kind of Batman in Batman v Superman, I think that would have really changed what we would have seen.
I don't know if it would have worked. I don't know if it would have worked.
No, but this is the thing. I like the older Batman.
Yeah.
But I think what they should have done is they should have gone either. I think the better way to look at the animated Dark Knight Returns, because they stuck very well with the 55-year-old Batman. So someone who had been in the part for so long, and then Superman was obviously still quite young, quite new to the job. But I love that version of Batman. I love that proper gritty. Whereas Ben Affleck, don't get me wrong, Ben Affleck's Batman is fantastic. But I reckon someone who was about 10 years older would have been a much better fit for that movie, because you want someone who's very grizzled, very worn down, but you want to actually see that they're not just like hampered by like years of injuries and attacks. You want someone whose body is literally just giving out on them anyway. And that would have been a Batman that would have really hit a point there. But to have the Robert Pattinson one, who, he's very much like, I don't care, I'm just doing this because this is what I have to do. This is the life that he feels he has to have. Do you know what? I think every time we get a Batman, everyone goes, oh, well, this Batman, he's too experienced, or, oh, this Batman's too old. It's like, you can't ever win. But this is just, for me, Batman's just perfect now. Leave Batman as he is for now. Give a few movies, go back onto an older Batman.
The thing is, with most Batmans that we've ever seen on the screen, it's always been, he's been doing it for so many years, and now we're going into a Batman that's been doing the job for nearly 10, 15 years. So it's always been he's honed his craft, he's honed his technology, he's perfected his suit. And that's the Batman we always start with. This one, he still doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And that's where you needed to start from. That's why it's Batman Year One. It starts off immediately in the film. He's been doing this for a year. He's still young. He's still fresh. He's still learning. The Batmans we've all been introduced to so far, from Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, even to Ben Affleck, these are Batmen that have been doing the job for nearly 20 years. So that's who we've always been introduced to. When you keep to that narrative of things, where it's always the grizzled, the adult Batman, then people get attached to that. But I've told everybody, read Year One, Year Two, and Year Three, and you'll start to understand why starting off this way is perfect for new generations and the ones who have grown up with the comic books.
Yeah.
Without sort of taking us off on a massive tangent, because I do want to go back onto the Marvel stuff, but
go.
Yes. What do you think about the alleged rumors? Not the alleged rumors, the rumors that Schneider used bots to basically push his.
It's true. We know it's true.
I think it's a half true. I think that there obviously was that little bit of push from proper fans originally, and I think as time went on, bots were probably employed to keep the message going. But I think originally the whole release the Snyder Cut thing was genuine, especially when Justice League first came out in 2017. Because my God, I remember watching that the day it came out, and I walked out the cinema. I just thought, right, that's supposed to be that what they're going to try and challenge the Avengers with, and I just thought
it was terrible,
fucking awful.
That was awful.
That was just.
It was watchable. It wasn't.
So, yeah, it was watchable, but then so was fucking Morbius watchable. But Morbius is a load of shit.
Yeah,
apart from Matt Smith.
I thought the Snyder Cut was good. I thought it was sort of, and I don't mind about people moan about it being long, but that doesn't stuff.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And love him or hate him, I would have kind of liked to have seen a bit more of that vision, that sort of vision, and having a bit more Ben Affleck as Batman and stuff. But that's not going to happen. It's unlikely, though. There is rumors that he will reprise his role as Batman in something at some point in time. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it's a TV series. But anyway,
he was meant to be Flash.
Right. Okay.
If the Flash is still coming out.
Well, yeah, that's it. If it is, but yeah. So, but Pattinson's Batman was great. I know I watched that recently. Very, very impressed. Very dark. I liked the fact that he got the shit kicked out of him, but it was very visceral, very real. The fights were very sort of like, he didn't just go in and kick everybody's ass. He kicked ass, but he got a beating as well when he was doing it, and I thought that was really good.
I think one of the best bits is right near the beginning of the film when he's at the train station. And he's walking up them steps very slowly, and he comes out into view. One of the gang of 20 goes up to him, and literally there's 20 guys. If they all just went at him then, they would have killed him. But only one of them goes up to him thinking this guy's a joke, and then Batman just punches him over and over and over again. And then just even when the guy's down on the floor, he's still punching him again and again and again. And that is just really putting the fear into these guys. So like I said, this group of 20 could have literally taken him out, no problem. But now that he's shown what he can do to one person, everyone's like, oh shit, he could do that to all of us. And then that's when like basically the Batman persona has just taken over their minds. And it's so good.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on from from Batman, back on to Marvel, yeah.
Okay, so should we talk a bit about I think before we talk about the films, I want to talk about the animated slate, because we did get some very good information on the animated stuff. So, yeah, the I Am Groot series coming out on the 10th of August, which looks very adorable, let's be honest. It's Groot, so it's gonna be. We've had some news on the X-Men series, which is looking good. X-Men 97 is coming out late 2023, and with some of the confirmed rumors, it is true, Magneto will be leading the X-Men in this series. So what has happened to the Professor?
Interesting.
Well, we know, because it's at the end of the 94 series.
Yeah,
is it following on from the old sort of kind of the old cartoons? Is it a direct follow on from that?
It's supposed to be, but then
be big.
Yeah, and then you've got the news as well that there is going to be another series of X-Men 97 after the first initial series, which I guess is technically Series 6 or however you want to place it. But yeah, that's looking good. We have a Spider-Man animated series, which we've heard about for a little while now. Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is looking very confusing for some, because I don't believe this is going to be MCU canon, because it looks like they're introducing a lot of villains who have previously appeared in the Marvel movies, and obviously including Dr. Octopus, who in No Way Home, clearly this Peter Parker from the MCU has never met an Octavius, but he does in this animated show.
Yeah. It
looks like Norman Osborn is more or less filling out the Tony Stark role that was prominent in Phase 3 of the MCU. And we already know that there will be a second season of this Spider-Man cartoon, which will be called Sophomore Year. So they're all in on the Spider-Man. It's looking pretty good. I am liking the art style because it's almost like a bit of a mix of like the '60s Spider-Man comic, but it's also taking cues from like the more recent movies. So it's looking fun. The What If series, we know that season 2 is coming early next year.
That was really good. First one.
Yeah, where some of the storylines that were cut from the first season due to the thing that's been affecting the world over the last few years, they're going to be coming in, including Tony Stark, who's going to be on Sakaar, which should be pretty fun. There's also going to be a Scarlet Witch story, which there's been a few little details about. An Odin story, which apparently has got Anthony Hopkins voicing Odin, so that'll be quite fun. And also as well, season 3 of What If is also in production too. So they're definitely putting a lot onto the animated slate.
Yeah,
and which is pretty cool. And the Marvel Zombies series, which is confirmed for 2024, and it's technically going to be following on from the Zombies episode of What If, and it's going to have heroes such as Yelena, the second Black Widow, Jimmy Woo, Shang-Chi, Ms. Marvel, amongst some other familiar faces. And I quite enjoyed the Zombies episode of What If, so I'm looking forward to the whole series of it. I reckon it'd be quite fun.
And that's animated?
That's all the animated ones. I thought I'd get them out of the way because that was the smaller of the lists that I've got with me.
What about TV series, then? So we'll go from animated. What about TV series?
Oh, okay. So TV series. So after She-Hulk, we've got a couple of specials still for later this year. We've got the apparent Werewolf by Night. Well, they're calling it a Halloween special. So that's going to be October time. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which will be on this Christmas, which is supposed to be, I think, a 30-minute little movie of Star-Lord trying to teach the Guardians the importance of Christmas. Which
that's going to be interesting.
It's got to be fun. That's got to be good, ain't it? And then, you mentioned a few of them already. Secret Invasion, early next year, which a lot of returning actors for that. You have to look up the cast list because it is growing almost by the day. Echo, which is the follow-on from the Hawkeye series, and is set to have Vincent D'Onofrio back in it as Kingpin. Spoiler alert, he came back in Hawkeye, and this was still Vincent D'Onofrio, who, come on, he was for me, I don't know how you guys felt, but I think he was the best actor in the Netflix Marvel series. I think he was just
so
fucking
good.
Brilliant.
It was just,
Kingpin.
It was just the fact that he had this sort of like, he's just so calm, and it's like, it's like a rubber band being stretched and stretched, and you don't know when it's gonna go, but when it goes, and he just sort of when he erupts, he just such a good villain.
But I was talking a bit about him actually yesterday, and when they're making these announcements, and I said, the one thing that always sticks out to me, especially when I think of the Netflix shows, is that scene from the first season of Daredevil when Kingpin shutting the guy's head in the car door, but he just keeps slamming it, and it's like obviously it's not as graphic as some things you could probably see on TV, but my God, every hit is just it makes you shudder. And it's just that ferocity of this character was brilliant. And then I think a lot of people are going to like this. Season 2 of Loki is due for mid-2023.
So that's going to have to tie into the whole Kang thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That's looking pretty good. That's just started filming a couple of weeks ago. One of the episodes was filming in a McDonald's in London, of all places. So, hijinks all around. And then we've got Ironheart, which, the character's going to be making a debut in Black Panther 2. So, look out for that. This is going to be quite interesting because the original Ironheart, she's kind of almost like a protege of Tony Stark. So the only thing I'll say is, would they really pay Robert Downey Jr. to come back for some flashback scenes, maybe with the character? I don't think so. As much as I'd love to see him come back, yeah, we never know. The Agatha Harkness series has got a new title. It is now called Coven of Chaos, which I'm still not sure about this one. I don't know if Agatha Harkness really needed her own show, but it's happening, so we'll make do with it as we can. And personally, my highlight of the TV schedule coming early 2024, Daredevil Born Again.
Boom.
Which,
yep.
Yes. Which I've got some early details. So as we know, Charlie Cox is definitely back as Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio is returning as Kingpin. And it is 18, yes, compared to the 6 or 9 that most of these Marvel shows have had. This will be an 18-episode first season, which is good. That's a lot of Daredevil. So everything is being thrown into this one.
Oh, I just hope they don't overdo it, man. I just, as much as I like to see more, I'm always very wary of too much.
I think they'll break it up. It'll probably be the first 9 episodes, early 2024, and then the next 9 will probably be end of the year or early the year after. I don't think they'll do all 18 in one go, but that's that. And then the films, which we touched on a little bit. So starting off Phase 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is going to be the first full debut of Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Even though we did technically have him in Loki, we didn't have him in Loki because he was not so much Kang the Conqueror. He was just He Who Remains. But not just this character, but we also have got it confirmed that MODOK is going to be appearing in
Have you seen the cartoon
the
series?
Bill Murray ones?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Have you seen the cartoon?
I didn't like the animated series.
No,
I didn't like it.
I thought it was quite.
No, I thought it was. I just couldn't get into it.
Oh.
So there's a few rumors going around about MODOK's identity, but if anyone remembers, there was a certain little Easter egg from the Loki series. There was a giant helmet from Yellow Jacket, who was the main villain of the first Ant-Man movie. And the rumor going around is that Corey Stoll, who was Yellow Jacket, will eventually become MODOK. So could be interesting. And, it's a good way to make one of the worst characters in the Marvel continuity into hopefully a bit of a better character. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's get on to this one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So from the rumours and from some of the pictures I got to see from some of the sneaky people at Hall H, we know that one of the villains in the film is going to be the High Evolutionary, who is just looks wacky as hell. And I can't remember the actor's name, but he was also in the recent Peacemaker series. Very, very fantastic actor. Josh, this is where I need you to tell me the name of the guy because I honestly can't remember it. I know his first name's Chidwoody, but I can't remember his surname. You know who I mean, don't you?
I know. Chidwoody Iwuji.
Yeah, something like that.
He plays Clemson Mern. He's got the butterfly in his head.
Yeah,
the team lead.
Yeah, but if you see the clip going around from his appearance at Hall H, he just looks fantastic. He looks like a very cool, eccentric character, and basically just sees people as almost like bacteria, which is quite fun. And this is also the film that's going to have Adam Warlock, which a lot of people have been waiting to see this character come onto the scene. And apparently another marketing opportunity for the guys at Disney and Marvel, it's going to feature flashbacks to a baby Rocket Raccoon. So, of course, it's going to be toys of that. There's going to be toys.
Oh, yeah. Like Baby Groot. This is going to be Baby Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one's going to float about. And then we have the Marvels. Right, Matt, before we go any further, have you watched Ms. Marvel yet?
I have watched 4 episodes, but I know what happens at the end of the series and stuff. It's been ruined.
So you're aware of the post-credit scene this time?
I am aware of the post-credit scene. Yeah. Somebody I got ruined for me on TikTok, so I know what happens. Yeah.
I just didn't want to have another Moon Knight episode again.
Yeah. Wait a minute, let me watch it.
Are you aware of the Easter egg at the end of the end credit scene?
No.
Which Easter egg is this?
And by the way, if you haven't watched this, or if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, then spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers alert. When Bruno says a certain word.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there's a certain theme that plays as he says it.
Yes. Yeah. A certain thing that we heard.
And it goes.
And to be honest, we only heard that a couple of months ago in the Doctor Strange movie as well.
Yep.
And Joel was very interesting. The creator of Ms. Marvel, in an interview, I think just the day after the final episode had dropped, they actually came out and said Ms. Marvel was originally meant to be a mutant and not an Inhuman, but then, changes and where else. It's kind of, I don't know, I guess it's kind of sad that they're kind of burying the Inhumans, especially after giving Black Bolt another chance as well. But, never mind. They gave it a shot.
He got another chance, as in he was on screen and then he had his head explode.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a thing though, ain't it? When a 5-minute appearance in someone else's film is more popular than when you had 8 episodes as the lead character. That definitely tells you something about the quality of the show and the film that you're in.
Yeah.
And only says one line, "I'm sorry." That's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Boom. But Joe, the Marvels, I think, is going to be a really good film. I'm quite excited for it, and I am probably in the minority of people that actually really enjoys Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. I think she's a really good actress. I know she gets a lot of flack.
Objection, hearsay.
There is a lot of people that do, say that apparently she's very horrible and awkward, or she talks down to a lot of people. But then, there is some people that are absolute jerks anyway, and that don't stop them getting love. So, and the costume as well that we see Carol Danvers in at the end of Ms. Marvel. Sorry, spoiler. I think it's quite a cool costume. I'm looking forward to what we're going to see next year. That is 28th of July. So we are just over a year away from that movie dropping.
My birthday.
28th of July.
And
yep,
28th of July.
Oh, you do anything for your birthday, Josh?
Fuck all, mate.
He's going. Well, next year he's going to see the Marvels.
I might fuck.
And can we? I think I've got to talk about. Yeah, we've got to go on to this one. One that I think I actually predict this one correctly as well. Blade is coming out the 3rd of November, 2023, and this is Mahershala Ali finally getting to be Blade on screen, not just one little line at the end of Eternals when he's not even on screen, but we're going to have a full-blown Blade, which I'm loving the rumor as well that we're going to have Anthony Starr, aka Homelander. He's going to be playing Dracula. If that's true, that is going to be fucking brilliant.
That's the talk that's been filtering around at San Diego at Entertainment Weekly's evening, because another Boys alumni was there, and apparently that talk has gone round.
I really hope it's true, because that would just be a brilliant casting. That is someone who would definitely bring up the creep factor for Dracula.
Apparently Sean Bean's going to be joining Marvel as Mephisto.
That's a rumor.
Do you know what? I would love him to play Mephisto, actually.
And then gets killed about 15 minutes into the film.
Yeah, but then, do you know what? If we had Sean Bean, though, I'd want him to just act in his own accent. I wouldn't want him to put on any different voice. Yeah, Can you imagine just Mephisto calling everyone a bastard? That'd be brilliant.
Bastards.
But Mephisto would go around calling everybody bastards because it's the devil.
Yeah.
But with Blade, there's been subtle rumors of, because of the film series that Blade's going to go into with the Midnight Suns, with the added addition of Mephisto in it as well, that leads into another Midnight Suns alumni, which we'll probably see again, not in TV series, but in actual film. And that's Ghost Rider.
Which, if the rumours are true on that one, because that's been a long-standing one, Norman Reedus is apparently one of the favourites to be Ghost Rider, which I would love.
Danny Ketch, and it's about time we saw Danny Ketch, because I know Nicolas Cage had said that he would come back as Johnny Blaze. So whether this is going to be Johnny passing on the demon to Danny Ketch, because pop quiz for anybody who doesn't know, while Danny's the Ghost Rider through the comic book series, he's actually dying in every single issue because he's bleeding out, and he remains the Ghost Rider to keep him alive. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But back to Blade, actually, do you reckon it's going to carry on from the Eternals? Is going to have any relevance to that at all?
Well, the Ebony Blade apparently is going to be prominently featured in the Blade movie. And apparently Dane Whitman, who
the Black Knight, is he the Black Knight?
Yeah, he is the Black Knight. Apparently he is going to appear in the movie as well, but as of yet, unconfirmed. But the filming for this is actually supposed to be starting, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So I reckon we're going to see a lot of news on Blade very shortly. So, yeah, keep them eyes peeled. So I think the only other person I know who's been cast in the film is, was it Delroy Lindo? He's,
yes.
Was he supposed to be playing Whistler? If I remember
Whistler.
correctly? That'd be brilliant. I think he'd be fantastic as Whistler. You know, he's no Chris Christopherson, but I think he'll still do a fantastic job.
And then we've got the two big Marvel Phase.
Oh yes,
Phase 6.
Yeah. Well, this is still Phase 5. This one, Captain America: New World Order.
Oh yes.
The Hulk is finally coming to Marvel. Can't wait. Little shitty wrestling joke there. But yeah, so Captain America: New World Order. This is, obviously following on from Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we're going to see. I guess this will almost be a lead into the film that's going to come afterwards as well, in a way. But it's fun to finally see Anthony Mackie taking on Captain America in a full movie. That was quite well deserved, because he's a good actor. I think he's going to make a good Captain America going forward.
Yeah, there's a thing where he's taking the piss out of plays bloody
Come on,
Spider-Man. Tom Holland, yeah. That's the name of my favourite historian as well. I forgot that, but anyway, Tom Holland. He's taking the piss out of Tom Holland. Tom Holland turns around, basically, at least I've got my own film, sort of thing. So he's finally going to get his own. He's going to get his own film. So
no, he doesn't though, because he's taking the piss there, because when's the Falcon movie coming up? Oh, you don't have one. He's not the Falcon. He's Captain America.
Yeah, true. Right.
And then shutting off Phase 5, we have the Thunderbolts, which this is a very left field movie, really, because I don't think up until a month ago, when the story broke out, I don't think anyone was really predicting a Thunderbolts movie. I think we were almost expecting that. Well, I thought they were going to be almost like woven into the films or the TV series going forward, or even have their own Disney Plus series. But I almost think this is almost. I know it's not going to be the same, but this is almost like Marvel's reaction to Suicide Squad in a way. But
it's going to be like Baron. Yeah. Oh, my name. What's his name?
Baron Fuck could be such a good Marvel character.
What's his name? German guy.
Emo.
Baron.
Yeah.
Emo.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So potential characters on the Thunderbolts, including Baron Zemo, who could potentially be the leader of the team. I'd be very shocked if they didn't have him. And also we have got John Walker himself, the US agent, who they've got to have him in there. Yelena will be also part of the team by the looks of it. And Joe, I was actually messaging Josh about this earlier because one, not so much in the first iteration, but another prominent character in the Thunderbolts was General Ross, in particular when he was the Red Hulk. But, as we earlier this year, we did lose William Hurt, who was playing General Ross. I honestly reckon that they will be looking to recast the part. We were talking about potential actors that could take over that role.
Is it because from what I understand in Thunderbolts Zemo sort of starts it as a way to sort of trick everybody that he's sort of creating these superheroes. He gives them all like different names and stuff, and then it's a way to sort of trick them.
But we've already had a few teases towards this, especially with the Countess who, Madame Hydra.
Valentina.
I couldn't think of a bloody name, but all I know is that she's played by the legendary Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which that's all you need to know.
Yeah, and this has been a starting hint since Black Widow at the end of the post-credit scene in Black Widow. She brings Yelena on a certain task force. So as again, this kind of goes off the Suicide Squad excess of the Thunderbolts. But as I was saying to Jon Jo, if they do recast Thunderbolt Ross, I don't think it will be in a human capacity because obviously Thunderbolt Ross becomes Red Hulk for the Thunderbolts. So I would love them to cast Stephen Lang as Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, because I think he's such a great actor and he plays the villain extremely well, really well, and he'd be a good addition. A really good addition.
Yeah. The only other one I said, because I was thinking about casting, and I thought back to 2003 when we had the Hulk film, and I just thought, and it was one of the only things that I enjoyed about that Hulk movie was Sam Elliott when he was playing General Ross, because he actually made that part fun. The rest of the film was utter dog shit, but he was quite good. I don't know.
That's Marvel.
Yeah,
what we got now?
You got Secret Wars and we've got Kang Dynasty as well.
Yeah.
So
they're Fantastic Four.
The thing is, I'm not sure how they're going to do the sort of Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars one, because it's like, is it going to be are they going to be two completely different separate sort of timelines and stuff? Is it because it's all multiverse stuff?
All I'll say is look at. Oh, go on.
The Secret Wars thing, I think, will be quite interesting because obviously we have a person who's if you go back to the Spider-Man animated series, the legendary Spider-Man animated series, there's a character that kind of indoctrinates Peter Parker into a horror that's coming, and in order for that, he needs to team up with certain Spider-Men to fight in a secret war, along with Captain America, the Lizard, and there are a lot of slots for Phase 6 that haven't been mentioned yet, and I think one of those films will help lead up to Secret Wars, and that film is Madam Web, because she's a big part of the Secret Wars.
Josh, the only thing I'm going to say against that, Madam Web is under the Sony banner.
Oh no!
And come on, let's just look at this. Sony brought us Morbius.
No.
Remember that with everything else, because we have got the Madame Web movie coming down under the Sony banner. And this is also from the guys that are giving us a Kraven the Hunter film, where apparently Kraven is going to be an animal lover. So,
I kind of lost interest in the Madam Web film when they didn't cast Helen Mirren as Madam Web.
I don't understand why. I appreciate Sony want to keep the they want money and stuff. But you know,
it's not so much keeping it. They're literally clinging on for dear life. You know. Oh, do you know what? If you guys have seen it, have you ever watched the pitch meeting videos from Screen Rant? Because there's one in particular when it's the one when they're doing the Morbius one, and he goes, yeah, hey, we're effectively part of the MCU now. He goes, yeah, I heard someone else say that. They were saying that to me while their eyes were sort of like twitching. Yeah, we're part of Marvel Studios now. Didn't you hear? It's like, oh, for God's sake. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the Venom movies. They were quite enjoyable. They weren't great, but they were enjoyable. Morbius was just fucking awful. That was just that. Apart from Matt Smith, you know, just hamming up every moment he could have on screen and just having fun in the shit show that it was. And you know what? I still think this has got to be now one of the worst lines of dialogue of all time. Is Michael Keaton at the end of that movie when he's talking to Morbius in a scene that has clearly been cut from another part of the movie, is this whole like exposition dump where he goes, I don't know how I got here. I'm sure it's got something to do with Spider-Man. I reckon guys like us should team up and do some good. And then all of a sudden, Morbius just looks up, he just goes, intriguing. It's like, that is just nothing to do. That literally, they just went, right, we got Michael Keaton on the set for a day. Let's just get him in a costume. Let's just get him to spill some utter bullshit. And we'll find a scene where we cut Jared Leto out of a certain part of the movie. He says one word. Yeah, that will do.
I've still not seen it yet. I've still not seen it yet because it got so bad, so badly blasted. I don't even know if I want to.
You don't need to.
It is.
Look at it this way. It's
awful.
If you could have an hour and 40 minutes of your life wasted, then watch this film. But it's on par with. Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else. It's basically watching an hour and 20 minutes of that line being repeated over and over and over again.
But that end scene in Morbius, it just reminds me of Joel Kinnaman in Suicide Squad. This is Katana. She's got my back. I advise you not to get killed by a sword as it traps the souls of its victims. It's like that line all over again. It's like, fucking hell, why did they think this was the part of DC that they should copy? You know, like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Matt, you no longer need to see Morbius because it is utter bollocks. And yeah, because for some reason, at the end of the movie, they bring in Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, from the MCU, and it's got to do with the whole Spider-Man bit, you know, when he's saying, oh, everyone should forget about Peter Parker. Everyone goes back to their ways. Everyone on, you know, Earth 616 has forgotten about Peter Parker. But for some reason, Adrian Toomes gets sent from that dimension into the Sony dimension. And for no fucking reason at all. And somehow he's got all his Vulture kit. He gets let out of prison because, you know, they don't know who Adrian Toomes is. He's just appeared in prison for no reason. And the first thing he says, he looks around the walls, he goes, I hope the food's better in this place. It's like, the fuck? What is wrong with
Morbius,
people?
is it so? It's Sony, it's not Marvel?
Yeah, it's Sony. It is Sony. It's Marvel, but it's like, it's as much Marvel as what Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage is.
The worst thing is, right, Sony thought this film was so popular that they went, do you know what we're going to do is we're going to re-release it in cinemas. And everybody just went, oh, no, really?
Oh, that was when the meme came out. That was when it's Morbin time.
I don't understand why they didn't sort of like just accept that the Marvel Studios are doing a really good thing and they just sort of kind of stay on board with it.
But the problem is that Sony do not want to let go of the Spider-Man rights because that is the only thing really that is making them money. You look at how well Spider-Man No Way Home did. They actually delayed Morbius from its already 5th different release date, which was supposed to be at the end of January. They moved that to the beginning of April because of how well Spider-Man was doing. And they went, well, look, Spider-Man No Way Home has earned $1.7 billion. You know, it's the highest earning movie in the pandemic era. It's the highest earning film since Endgame. So, you know, why do we want to ruin that momentum? No, we don't. let's keep that going. And then all of a sudden, when Morbius came out, they were like, well, it's got a few very, very, very light, subtle hints to Spider-Man. It's like, well, actually, no, it's got one little fucking mention at the end of the movie now, because they cut everything out that was ever mentioned in the trailer. They took out it looks like they've reshot the film over and over, and they've just cut and pasted all these different bits and pieces. And it's just Sony just don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's been proven time and time again.
Sony is the equivalent of them sitting back and singing, anything you can do, I can do better. Well, Kevin Feige goes, no, you can't.
Yeah. I was never a massive fan of the Sony Spider-Man films, to be honest. Well,
do you know what? This is the thing. A lot of people, especially from No Way Home coming out, a lot of people going, oh, well, if only we could have the Amazing Spider-Man 3. We had another Andrew Garfield movie. It's like, well, hang on, you guys didn't even show your attention or your appreciation for the first two. Why do you really want a third one? I mean, I enjoyed Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I didn't really enjoy the movies, but I thought he was a good Spider-Man overall. So to see him back was really nice, really special. But I don't want an Amazing Spider-Man 3, especially if it's Sony that are going to be dealing with it. God, no. Who wants that? No one wants Sony to be making these movies, but they still are. And as Josh has now almost just had a mental breakdown over, Madame Web is actually coming, but it is Sony. It's not MCU. It's just Sony. And they're going to... Well, they've already delayed the film because obviously something's gone weird or wrong with it. But fuck knows what's going to happen. And I don't know. It's bad.
Morbius, and I'm reading this now, has 104 minutes of cut time from the film.
104 minutes cut out?
104 minutes of scenes that were filmed that were cut from the film itself.
Yeah.
There's even scenes from a detective who had an action scene and a comedy scene cut, and he was shocked to find out he was not in the film.
Sounds about right.
Sony.
But if the other thing I heard was true as well, apparently there was enough material from the Morbius filming that they could have actually had 3 different versions of this movie.
That's true.
And it does feel like that. You do feel like you're watching 3 different films, because there is some little subplots that are just completely abandoned at some point in the film. And and especially, like I say, that end scene with the Vulture, it makes no sense. Just all of a sudden, Morbius has just driven out to the middle of nowhere. Vulture meets up with him. Don't think these two have ever had any interaction from what it looks like, but all of a sudden, they seem to know each other. They seem to have some kind of understanding of each other. Well, Vulture seems to know who Morbius is. Morbius is just looking up to the sky. They didn't tell him. They didn't tell Jared who he's actually interacting with. They just said, "Oh, just look up there and just say intriguing when we point to you." That was literally it. Like, fuck it, hell. Sony just don't know what they're doing, and it's being proven time and time again. But they're still making money from. Well, they ain't made money from Morbius. Let's be honest. But they're making money from some of these.
Let's just hope they don't do a stupid thing and fully pull Spider-Man from.
I don't think they could afford to now, because you look at the fallout after Far From Home. There was this whole thing where Disney and Sony were almost going to break apart this relationship, and they just Sony's share price dropped terribly when that was announced. They were in such shit, and even the screenwriter who had already started writing Spider-Man No Way Home, he was told, you're going to need to come up with another script for us without any Marvel links, without anything to do with the MCU. And I think at one point he literally just turned to Sony and said, that's not going to happen. We can't do that. And then there was even
it's out of the box. It's completely sort of,
But there was even talk that if they did do it, they would have Tom Holland, but they would literally recast and retool every other part of the film. Apart from Tom Holland, it would have been a completely different thing altogether. And, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they worked it out. And, No Way Home, I think, is an absolutely fantastic movie, and possibly my favourite of Phase 4 so far, just because I think because it's 20 years of memories and cinema experience of this character brought into this one movie, and it was just so gorgeous. And come on, who doesn't like Willem Dafoe when he can go absolute crazy on the screen? That was just that was just awesome. And I think even as much as I love the first Spider-Man movie, and I love Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin in it, I think in No Way Home he just takes it to another level, and it's just he just goes fucking ballistic, and it's beautiful to see on the screen. But yeah, Sony, please don't go away from that. Please give us more of what we actually like. Don't.
It's all the suits. It's all the suits in the thing. They're all they're thinking about is money and the profit shares and all that stuff. It's like, oh, we're sharing profit with Marvel Studios and stuff. We could have the full thing, but not as much because your film's shit, so you're not making as much money.
I will direct you back to that pitch meeting video. We're part of Marvel Studios now, didn't you know? That's literally all we're gonna. And just obviously before we go off of Marvel completely, there are some films which have yet to be given a proper release date, but are said to be in active production. I still think the biggest shock that we didn't get a release date for yet was Deadpool 3, because apparently this film's been written. It's due to start filming anytime soon, but it hasn't got a release date. But
he could be in. If you look at what is it saying that he might be in the Thunderbolts?
Possibly, yeah. But there is a film release date for, I think it's for February 2024, that still hasn't actually got a film attached to it. That would be perfect for Deadpool 3, considering that the first Deadpool actually came out on Valentine's of 2016. So it's possible. It could work. And then we've also got Spider-Man, whatever the Spider-Man sequel is going to be called. I doubt it's going to have home in the title, but I'd love to see them try. Spider-Man.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that could work. I was trying to think of something like Spider-Man kicked out of home, or I don't know, something like that, because there's still a lot of...
Homeschooled.
Well, you'd like to think now that they'll actually have a Spider-Man who's got to be in his 20s now, because fucking hell, they can't. As much as Tom Holland still looks young, they can't exactly keep him as a teenager for too much longer, because he is 26 now. We've got to be realistic on this stuff. We've also got the Shang-Chi sequel, which apparently is moving forward. Could potentially be 2025. Could be one of the release dates that's not actually had a film attached to it yet. And
I surprisingly enjoyed that film. Shang-Chi was really good. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun. And we've also got the X-Men movie, which there's been many different rumors about. Although I don't know if they're too urgent on the X-Men stuff, because they're taking a very different approach by saying Ms. Marvel's going to be like the first mutant they're introducing. Looks like Namor is going to be classed as a mutant as well for the MCU. So I don't know. I think me and Josh spoke a little bit about how the X-Men were going to be approached before, and there's a few different ideas. And now that they've obviously given us Patrick Stewart's Professor X in Doctor Strange, as horrible as they say it, I don't think they're going to get Patrick Stewart to come back after that. I think that was just like almost like a little bit of fun. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can come back." But
I will iterate a line from a wrestler that me and Matt probably know very well, Ted DiBiase, who famously said, "Everybody's got a price."
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! $1 million man.
I don't know. I'd love to see Patrick Stewart return again, but if they were to replace him,
what age is Patrick Stewart now? What age is he?
He's 81 or 82.
Yeah, because he's looking pretty aged in Picard and stuff.
82.
Yeah. So if they were to recast him, and this is just going from where I've been getting hooked back onto one of my favourite shows, Better Call Saul, Giancarlo Esposito, I think he would be fantastic as Professor X. He'd be a very different professor, but he's just got that perfect voice, that voice that's not commanding, but it's one that you listen to. It's one that gets inside your head. He'd be my Professor X going forward.
It's going to be hard seeing a Professor X that isn't Patrick Stewart, though, isn't it? It's going to be one of those things.
I know, but I think if eventually they are just they will recast it. They might, like I say, with the whole multiverse saga, there is potential that they are going to bring back, the X-Men characters from the Fox movies. They might still somehow bring back I want them to bring back Wesley Snipes' Blade for Secret Wars. That'd be quite fun.
Can I just weigh in here? And I have an actor who I would love to see as Professor X.
Go on.
Stanley Tucci.
Ooh. Not a bad choice.
I would love to see Stanley Tucci as Professor X, or no, I'm sticking with Stanley Tucci. I think he'd be a fantastic Professor X. But Marvel Phase 6. Oh, I'm very nervous of what the other titles they've got to come out with, because it's got to be a lot of build up for Secret Wars.
But leading with Fantastic Four as well for Phase 6 is
it says Giancarlo Esposito is rumored to play Professor X.
Yeah, that I think that would be a good choice. But we've got D23 in, I think, September, and I think once we get D23, we should find out a lot more details. In particular, we should get the cast for the Fantastic Four as well, which is still very much up in the air. Yeah,
well, it's they just haven't been able to. I just don't understand how they haven't been able to make that sort of a success. Really, like I wasn't really interested in the original Fantastic Four films, and the reboot was a car crash.
Did you ever watch the one from the 90s?
What was the one from the 90s?
It was never supposed to exist. It was made so that Marvel could hold on to the license and the name, because it was about to be let go. So they made a film that was never meant to be seen, but it's got one of the best things I've seen in like live action.
It's not the Human Torch's special effect when he's rolling around, because that is fucking hilarious. It's literally like the same four.
Is it like a TV film, or is it was it a film that went out on release?
Well, it was made at the time for $1 million, which not a bad amount of money, but you can definitely tell they cut corners at every opportunity they could, just like for seeing it, you've got to remember, when you watch it, just remember this is 1994 that this film was made, and you watch it, you go, my fucking God, it's like proper shoestring. The only thing I would say, and I think this was very shocking, the music, the soundtrack, actually was really good. They actually did do a good bit of effort on that side, but the rest of the film is just absolutely atrocious.
Well, basically, the Fantastic Four just haven't had a good run movies-wise and stuff, and hopefully they'll crack it this time round.
Well, I'd like to think so. And I think also as well, going through Phase 5 in particular, the rumour is that they want to introduce Doctor Doom as soon as possible to set him up as not necessarily like a catalyst for Secret Wars, but having him in the background and then having him then going on for Phase 7 for whatever the next saga shall possibly be.
Yeah, because we don't see God Doom until Secret Wars 2. But I'm just looking up the Fantastic Four unreleased 1994 independent film, I might add.
Yes.
And the tagline for it is just fucking hilarious. part muscle, part elastic, part fire, part invisible. Together, it's clobbering time. Oh God, who the fuck hired that
Some
person?
guy in a suit thought that was awesome. Some guy's like,
I bet.
yeah, that was brilliant.
I'll tell you what, though, there's a great documentary film about the making of it, and obviously the impact that happened with all the stars of it. And if you ever get the chance, have a watch of it, because there is some proper like car crash moments in it, and especially when like a lot of the actors, a lot of the people that are involved with this, honestly thought this was going to be like their big break in Hollywood. They were honestly believing this was going to be what was going to get them, you know, in the Hollywood limelight, and it's quite heartbreaking, really. But yeah, you got to see it. You know, a lot of people say the was it the Superman Lives one, the Death of Superman Lives. Everyone says that that's a good like documentary of a film that was never meant to be. But no, the Fantastic Four one is just on another level.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
I'll have to watch it. How bad. This is how bad it is, right? This is how bad, right? The Thing threatens Doom, right, by clobbering him, and Alicia begs him not to risk it and confesses her love for him. Her confession changes Ben back to human form, and he flees onto the city streets. Frustrated and helpless, he reverts back to the Thing. You couldn't make this shit up. But they did.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how bad this film is.
Well, okay, so hopefully they'll crack it this time round, and it won't be an absolute car crash like the rest, but we'll see.
Right. So what are we moving on to now?
So is that the end of Marvel? Have we done Marvel?
That is pretty much all Marvel stuff. The only thing I would add is talking about the Sony stuff just a little bit, because Sony next year are still anticipating the release of you've got Kraven the Hunter, which is supposed to be coming out in January, which is Aaron Taylor Johnson playing the part. Which if you look at the set photos, he just doesn't look right at all for the part.
Yeah, Sony didn't see that coming.
And then you got the Madam, Web film, which just day by day is just eating away at
50 Shades of Web.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be such a horrible scene, wouldn't it? Yeah. An 8-legged whip. And then and then there's some weird wrestling one as well that's supposed to be a Spider-Man spin-off, which I'm gonna have to try and look up in between, because I know that there is some Sony. I've got to look at Sony Spider-Man spin-offs. And then also you got the Across the Spider-Verse, which I think is supposed to be the end of next year now.
Yes, part 1 anyway.
Yeah, because I think you got Across the Spider-Verse, and then the next one after that was I think it's now been retitled to Across the Multiverse, which is true. That's pretty good. Oh God, right, here we go. El Muerto is the other Sony film.
What?
El Muerto.
Yeah, so,
the death.
So El Muerto is a minor Spider-Man character who was a wrestler who has superhuman strength. The film is due for release January 12th, 2024.
El Muerto. Okay.
El Muerto.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit left field, isn't it?
I tell you what, if you try and look up any information on this character, it's quite difficult to find. There isn't much at all on him. But if you really want to laugh, just the other films in development from Sony on their Spider-Man universe include The Sinister Six. Yep, that's never happening. Night Watch. Anyone know the character Night Watch?
Nope.
Oh, there we go. Jackpot.
Nope.
Oh Lord.
A project by Roberto Orci, who they said it will be a Sony film from a different corner of the Marvel Sony universe. God knows what that's going to be like. Olivia Wilde is also making a film believed to be based on Spider-Woman.
Are they just going around buying sort of,
It is like, yeah, they're just making anything they can.
Yeah.
Hoping. So, okay, El Muerto, Juan Carlos Sanchez, also known as El Muerto. Looking at him now, this guy looks like Bane. He literally looks like Bane. Oh,
it's brilliant.
What?
It's brilliant what they. But the thing is, do you imagine that they've just literally got a big hat and they've got like 200 bits of paper in the hat? And they just go, right. Sony exec comes and he goes, right. The first one I pick up, we're making a film on this. And you've got people with their fingers crossed going like, come on, please be a Dr. Octopus film. Please be a Dr. Octopus film, or let's be a Venom sequel. And they'll be like, El Muerto. Who the fuck is that? Who put this one in here? Is this a joke?
You're just waiting for Dumbledore to walk in, going, "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?"
And then,
please, God.
And then Sony have actually got their own TV series as well. They've got a TV series based on Silk, which is another Spidey character.
I can see it. Silk is pretty good comic run.
Yep, which is being produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, apparently. So that's pretty good. And there was supposed to be one of the other Sony. This is the last one I'm going to go through because it's starting to depress me reading some of this stuff. Not in a bad way, because I think all the missed opportunities. Just that Sony keep thinking these are good ideas. Silver and Black, originally envisioned as two separate solo films, starring Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, and Silver Sable. Silver and Black was originally combined as a hero team-up movie in the Sony shared Spider-Man universe.
Oh no! No.
Yeah, in January 2020, the project was being redeveloped as a television series, with it being suggested that it would be a limited series with potential leading the characters. Just seeing Josh now, it's just like, the last ounce of whatever was there is now gone.
Sony need to stop. I think they need an intervention, I think.
Yeah, but this is what I meant. But this is from the guys who, back in 2014, they were actually planning an Aunt May spin-off film. Of all the fucking characters you would give a solo film to, they would give Aunt May her own film.
Ori, if you're listening to us, Sony need help now.
But
anyway, let's stop talking about Marvel and stuff. I'm actually getting indigestion.
Yeah, that is just upsetting. But I think if we can just talk about any other highlight from the San Diego Comic Con, and I know that it's one that you guys have definitely been looking for. Well, I know Josh is definitely looking forward to. It is the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh man, yes, so much fun.
Sit down, Jon Jo. It's my turn now.
Wow, it's not normally me who fucking talks all the time, so I've made the most of it tonight.
Well, you came prepared, Jon Jo. I felt like you had to. You had
that was
stuff. So
that was good. That was good shit. Yeah. That was good shit. Let's flame the fucking fires of Sony and watch it cinder, the fuckers. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I've been looking forward to Honor Among Thieves since its inception, really. And watching the trailer, so happy, so happy.
It's filmed in Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
It's filmed at Carrick Castle, which is just down the road from my mother. And another that you can kind of see in some of the shots. You can kind of go, that looks, that looks vaguely familiar. But yeah, I saw I was just like, yeah. this could be actually really good.
It could literally raise it up from the travesty of the Dungeons and Dragons film we had with Jeremy Irons, which I won't press on because that film is just absolutely terrifying to watch now. But I've got to say, the rumors coming out of the cameos, which were then confirmed, that we're getting cameos from the animated series, characters from Critical Role, which I was very happy about. So the entire trailer was just like, there was owlbears, there was mimics, there was gelatinous cubes. I was like, oh my God, people have actually picked up a D&D book and read it. This is great.
Yeah, and the dragon was it was an Onyx dragon?
Onyx dragon.
Yeah. It was just sort of, so it was just more like true to the actual game itself. And yeah. So
the names of the characters, I've been chuckling to myself since they were released, because Chris Pine is playing a bard, and his name, which I thought was fan-fucking-tastic, is Edgin. Edgin the bard. And I thought, who wrote this? You fucking genius. But you've got Chris Pine as Edgin the bard, Michelle Rodriguez as Holga the barbarian, Regé-Jean Page, I hope to God I said that right, as Zenk the paladin, Justice Smith as Simon sorcerer, Sophia Lillis, who looks like fucking Keyleth from Vox Machina, as Doric the tiefling druid, which I thought was a great suggestion. Hugh Grant. Now, I know a lot of people have said, oh, Hugh Grant's going to mess this up, but he's playing a rogue called Forge Fitzwilliam, and he already comes across as a rogue. He looks like one of those characters to keep your eye on. And, again, Paramount Pictures, they keep pushing out such great fucking cinema. I mean, the last thing that I went to see that was Paramount Pictures was Sonic 2, and that was fucking great. So this coming from Entertainment One and Paramount Pictures with Wizards of the Coast, this is going to be great. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks like a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Dumb fun. I think we need a lot of dumb fun in cinema at the moment, because everything's just way too fucking serious at the moment.
We'll not talk about the Lord of the Rings.
Please don't. Because as a Tolkien aficionado, as somebody who that knows the lore from the get-go, from a very fucking young age, I've been a Tolkienist all the way through, to literally watch what is classed as the super fans experience, and just listening to some of these people, it's like, what the fuck are you doing to the lore? You're making it up as you go. And it's all from the breadth of, literature that J.R. Tolkien set out. You didn't have the rights to any of it, yet you decided just to make it up as you went, and now you're just fucking up decades of work.
Well, what are your concerns with it? What are you hearing that is
Galadriel's character's wrong?
Who, sorry?
Galadriel.
Okay.
Her character is completely wrong. The fact is that they're bringing in female orcs. The storyline of it up into Sauron's, the Deceiver. He's called the Deceiver for a reason, because he didn't actually look like the hulking guy in an armor. He was an elf.
Yeah.
That part was like, oh, it looks like a very young Eminem. Okay. Going from that, it's just, oh, but the women dwarves, they look. I think in Lord of the Rings, Gimli actually says that dwarven women look like dwarven men, and they can never be, taken apart because they look so similar, and that dwarves just sprout from the ground, and then you go to change it. Why? It's there in front of you. We even saw a bearded dwarven woman in the fucking film.
I know. I'm not sure if I fully agree, because there's a lot of a lot of the stuff they are getting from was unfinished, and you can, I guess it's not like it's Lord of the Rings. Even Silmarillion stuff is cobbled together from notes and stuff. Christopher Tolkien sort of kind of put it together. So there's certain things like where orcs came from. There's no affirmative on that. There's a lot of different versions of how, you know, they are tortured elves, that they came from the ground. You know, there's lots of different sort of versions and how they came about. So female orcs, you know, it doesn't really bother me that much and stuff. Small things like that, you know, like they changed stuff in the Lord of the Rings films, which didn't bother me at all. So as long as they keep to a sort of, you know, a vague sort of, well, not a vague, but, you know, they keep to certain things like the fall of Numenor and stuff like that. You know, I'll be interested, and I'll be interested to see how they sort of play Sauron and stuff. So, you know,
I've got to say, the Balrog at the end of the trailer was beautiful.
And they're using Hard Shores doing the music again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That introduction of the Balrog right at the end when the leaf turns to flame, that literally had my attention, and that was like the last second of the trailer, and I was like, okay, that special effect, you can see where the money went, but that was just brilliant. I want to see more of that, but I don't know. It's just from what Peter Jackson gave us, and then this, it's going to have to be something incredibly gripping to, you know, I pay for Amazon Prime anyway, so I'm going to watch it no matter what. I don't know. I'm still on the card. I'm still very on the cards with it, but I'll watch it because it deserves to be watched, and it deserves to have.
Well, it's the most expensive TV program ever made. So
right.
So it's, you know.
But it was the most expensive just from the rights, which is mental.
Yeah, I you know, well, fingers crossed. I've got high hopes for it and stuff. You know, as long as they sort of like the Silmarillion's a very dense book, and there's a lot of sort of, they've got a lot. Obviously, there's books that come from the book itself, and there's a lot of sort of ambiguity in certain things. So as long as they stick to a certain line, and, you know, they don't go too sort of Wild West with it, then yeah, I'll be happy enough. So I'll watch it and just see it. And to be honest, like, you know, it depends. It's sort of, obviously it's going to be the tail end, sort of the end of Melkor and the rise of Sauron. So yeah,
if Melkor is mentioned, if Melkor is, you know, shown in the series, I'll be very impressed.
See, I don't know where they're starting off, you see, because is it going to be sort of his defeat? Because that battle at the end might be the defeat of Melkor, and that's where
it looks like it's the end. It looks like it's right at the end of that battle, and then they've got all the years of peace while Sauron comes to power and the forging of the Great Rings.
Yeah, and then you basically wait a minute. I'm just trying to think. It's been a while since I read the Silmarillion. The Silmarils, were they before or after? Is that sort of? I know the Silmaril is because there's a bit in it where is Sauron, because Sauron sort of he goes to, I think he goes to Valinor. Does he even go to He does go to Valinor, and
the Silmarillion takes place during the Second and Third Ages. In the Second Age, Sauron's reemergence in Middle Earth. So where this series takes place, I'm guessing it will be just at the end of, just coming into the Second Age.
Yeah, so it'll be in the second. So it's going to be it's going to be the defeat of Melkor. It's going to be the rise of Sauron, and
the defeat.
It'll be. Oh, sorry, I might, because it's been a while since I've read the Silmarillion.
It's going to be the creation of the Valar, the Maiar, the defeat of Melkor, and then obviously Sauron's rise to power, and the creation of the rings. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we've got less than 6 weeks till the show comes on, so
Yeah, it's soon actually as well. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
and what a lot of people are not talking about, one day, well, because that comes out on the 2nd of September. One day before that, on the 1st of September, there is a new Lord of the Rings video game coming out based on Gollum.
yeah. That looks interesting. That looks interesting.
Which is, yeah, but it's really fallen like under the radar. It was I almost forgot about it until about a month or so ago when a new trailer come up. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, this is still coming out. And I don't know if I really have an expectation on it, but I am interested because I want to see how they actually do a stealth game set in Middle Earth. But it could be interesting, could be fun.
Yeah. What else have we got
But
going
then-
on? We got
Oh.
Picard. We've got
Yeah,
Picard
new
season
Picard
3
trailer.
with all the it's the final season with all the old crew back in it, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. The first season was a slow burn for me. Enjoyed the second season. I enjoyed the first season when I sort of kind of got into it. Enjoyed second season, so sort of having a short, having the third season and that being the end should be quite good. Got Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks apparently are having a crossover at some point, though I've not watched Strange New Worlds yet.
Apparently, Lower Decks is going to have a bit of a crossover with Deep Space Nine as well, which, if true, that'd be so fun.
Interesting. Interview of the Vampire had a trailer, so that's a series, isn't it?
I'm not too worried on that one.
What else? Oh, John Wick 4.
Oh yes,
John Wick
that
4.
trailer
I cannot
was good.
wait. Looking forward to John Wick 4.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon next month. Yep.
That should be interesting.
Game of Thrones prequel. And just yeah, I mean, San Diego Comic Con gave us a lot of, well, as always gives us a lot of TV, a lot of trailers, and everything else. There was one absence, which apparently there's a few issues regarding behind the scenes. Apparently, San Diego Comic Con was meant to have a Doctor Who panel for what would be the episode coming up in October, which is the last Jodie Whittaker episode. It's the last one written by Chris Chibnall before he steps down, but it's also part of the BBC's centenary. So it's a big episode. It's a big event, but according to what I've been reading a lot online, it's apparently an absolute disaster just waiting to be released. There is a lot of rumblings that basically Chris Chibnall has just said, I don't fucking care, I'm doing this how I want it, going against what the BBC are doing, but because the BBC have given him that sign off, that they can't really stop what he's put together. And it's almost like Russell T Davies is being brought in now, not so much to go, oh well, let's see if he could bring us a different vision. It's more now he's almost on damage control from what I'm hearing, which is not what you want to hear for a show that you're hoping is going to manage to get onto a new legacy, a new era, potentially with a new Doctor getting in a new audience. And it looks like Chris Chibnall's almost letting the show just implode on itself in that final episode.
I will like to comment. The fact is, the new Predator film, Prey, has been viewed to an astounding response. Apparently, it's been quoted as the best sequel we've had to date.
Apparently, you can watch it in Comanche.
Yes, that was said at San Diego Saturday.
Yeah.
While the Alien TV series has been pushed back to 2023.
Not a big loss, that one.
I suppose I should mention another film that is due out in the next couple of months that was shown recently. and that's Clerks 3
Yes.
from Kevin Smith.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, forgot to mention that at all. Yeah.
A film about making a film.
Yeah. And the film, the original film, a film set on a film based on a film. Fucking fantastic. Only Kevin could do such genius. Who could make a sequel hack to this?
Yeah. Well, I hope after his last, and I appreciate. You may disagree with me, but I think Silent Bob reboot was a bit of a miss for me. As much as I love Kevin Smith, it didn't really do very much for me. So I'm kind of hoping, having loved Clerks 1, Clerks 2, hoping Clerks 3 is a hit. We'll see.
I think with Jay and Silent Bob reboot, because me and Josh, we saw that back in November 2019. We was front row at the Prince Charles Cinema.
Yeah,
and it was a glorious. And Joe, one of my highlights of it was when we first got in there. There was a few like the promo guys going around, and they went, "Oh, were you part of whatever fan group or whatever?" And Josh just went to me, "Just say yes to everything." I went, "Okay, yeah, of course I am, yeah." So getting a few little bits, oh yeah, have a free lanyards, have a free. I've got like a little. I think I've got a little card wallet thing as well. I don't remember where I got that from, but I know I picked that up afterwards. And then we even got given cake as well, which was
was it special? Was it special cake?
No, unfortunately.
I don't remember how I got home that night.
Do you know what it is?
No, do you know what?
Sorry, Jon Jo, carry on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, do you know what? Do you know what? The one thing that bothered me the most about the Jay and Silent Bob reboot was how emotive Silent Bob was. It sort of annoyed me slightly because it's like Silent Bob has always been sort of this character who he's there, you enjoy it, but he's like background, and you get like one part in the movie where he'll do something or he'll say something and that's his thing. And it's sort of in the reboot, he was just like super emotive and like, it's like his facial expressions and stuff all the time. And it was just like, it overplayed who I feel Silent Bob was in the other films and stuff. And I appreciate, he nearly died and maybe he just wants to sort of, but it's just, I think for Silent Bob, especially, you have to have, he's very sort of background, and then he has that moment, and then he's background again. And, if he's sitting there making faces all the time, it sort of kind of takes away from his sort of that moment, I think. Josh is completely disagreeing with me, but,
Do you know what? As much as I really was wanting to give you an answer, I think I've got to leave it to the maestro on this one.
I'm going to fall back into my Silent Bob routine and just stay quiet, because if I open the choke and pull the cord and let this grenade go, it's going to be a while.
From what I just saw, Matt, I thought you were giving him an aneurysm then.
Yeah,
something's just trying not to.
I've got, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Like, and I didn't hate reboot. It just didn't. It didn't sort of. There are certain parts of it it didn't really do much for me and stuff. I like certain things, but yeah, it wasn't as. It was a bit of a miss for me.
I think what is really good about it as well, it's not just the movie within the movie.
He's putting his Batman cap on.
Yeah, that's it. Shit, it's getting serious now. It's
fly,
not,
fat ass, fly!
It's not just movie within the movie bit. It's the idea that, given a bit of time's gone by, Kevin Smith is basically going to be telling the story about, how he had his heart attack and, surviving that. Because you see in the trailer, Randall has a heart attack.
Do you know what? I didn't even think about clicking those two things together. Right.
Do you know why Randall has the heart attack in Clerks 3?
No.
because Kevin wrote Randall for him in Clerks.
Yep.
So Randall is basically Kevin in the film. I mean, this is me trying to explain the number 37 to somebody, and it's fucking fascinating every time I do it. It's like, why do you keep using the number 37? It's how many dicks she sucked in Clerks.
Do you know what, man? I was in a pizza place in Manchester with my ex-girlfriend many years ago, and she was being an absolute dickhead at the time, right? So I was just like, right, and I just watched Clerks and stuff, so I just stood up in the middle of this pizza place and went, my girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. She was absolutely mortified, but it was hilarious because this guy across the way just went, in a row, and I was like, yes.
In a row.
In a row.
Marilyn, that was for you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's such a
so
good
yes.
line.
But it's Clerks 3, I think, is going to be, I'm not going to say the closing book of the Clerks saga, because I know Kevin wanted to go on to do Mallrats 2.
Wasn't that meant to be a series?
Twilight.
Didn't they want to do Mallrats and they went to a series or something?
No, it's an actual film. Twilight of the Mallrats.
Twilight of the Mallrats. Think Die Hard in the mall.
Interesting.
So it'll be fun, but I know most people who talk about Kevin going about when Moose Jaws is, being released, and it's just like, I really want to see Moose Jaws, but it's a moose. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's called Moose Jaws?
Moose Jaws.
Moose Jaws.
Oh.
It's not been made yet, but Moose Jaws. It's like Jaws, but with a moose. Fucking brilliant. Need to see it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I know I'm a huge Kevin Smith cuck, but I don't care. I look forward to anything that Kevin spits out at the moment, and I can't wait for November Jon Jo for
I tell you what, yeah,
Clerks 3 get in. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, me and Josh have already said that as soon as some tickets are going on sale, we're going to be right there. Hopefully front row again.
Front row again. In the Church of the Master.
Yeah. And you know what? It's one of them things that it's not until you always hear certain stories, and it's not until you're actually just like a few feet away from him, you can breathe and you go, oh yeah, he's already stoned. I can smell it on him. But
he was baked by the time he got there. He was smoking outside. It was great.
Yeah, but it's like literally as soon as he walks into the room, all you hear is for about 10 seconds he's going, hey! I just think he's trying to gather the next word in his head. Hey, guys. Like fucking brilliant.
Like it was there.
Right.
I can't believe that's nearly 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, no, time flies, man. Just like it actually feels like every time I talk about, like, I see, like, San Diego Comic Con, I was like, oh, I was there last year. Oh shit, it wasn't last year. It was like 6 years ago. And I was just like,
it's fine.
Yeah. And it'll be like the first time I think we've all been together. We'll be at Star Wars Celebrations next year. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, that would be
hopefully.
good. Yeah, that'd be good. Fingers crossed, though they're being a bit weird about press and think at the minute and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, we would talk about Star Wars now, but there was nothing shown properly at San Diego Comic Con because everything's been left to D23.
D23.
When's that?
So
when's D23?
September.
Right. Okay. Right, anyway, it's been on for 2 hours, and minding the warning that Jon Jo gave me at the start of the podcast that we could probably bang
I
on.
really shouldn't have given that warning, because I've spoken the fucking most this time round. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good, yeah. Well, like I said, you did research, you did your, far away, good.
But it's because if it's something that I know in particular, I can go on to. When it's other things like D&D or Warhammer, I was just like, I'll step back.
No, that's all good. We'll leave it there and stuff because I think there is other things we could probably talk about, but I think Marvel are the main, the Marvel things are the main sort of kind of crux of what San Diego Comic-Con was about this year. So and we got through all of that with Jon Jo's comprehensive list and breakdown of everything. So thank you, Jon Jo. I appreciate that. Really good.
Aye.
Yeah, so we'll leave it there. For tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Take care, everyone. Have a good evening.
And Josh Varney.
Is it Thursday yet?
Night all.